All right, so it's clear. Ben don't quite understand Anthony's wife, right? And he doesn't quite understand what's going on. But at the end of the day, again, maybe y'all are getting exactly what you guys want, which is you want them to release the story of the Anthony and Amber thing, right? Because I think that's where we're going. Let's get into this. All right, so let's call a spade a spade. So just like this morning, I'd mentioned to you that there are certain things that I guess if you work in certain lines, that's exactly what you do. Then that's what you do. So here's the deal. For the sake of the storyline, right? I guess what we want, because that's really what we want. At the end of the day, I think I can safely say this. We want Anthony to get himself exposed because the truth of the matter is, I guess you want to see the Amber character released because you think she's being held on by Anthony. Okay, I'm going to rock with that at this point in time. If we are to call a spade, I think Ben is now in the same position that Michelle is into. Does he release his information? Does he release the information that he knows about Anthony? Meaning all these financials that him have locked up for Anthony, right? Because he don't really understand the gist of what's going on. Or does he not release that? That is the question. Right? This is a very good question. Why would Anthony need to conceal assets? Why would he need to hide assets at all? What is going on now? It looked like Danielle has Ben by the scrotum, right? She has him by the scrotum, and Ben really wants his relationship to work with his wife. You can see that. If this wasn't the case, and if Ben really was who we think he is, which is this cheating, no good kind of guy, he would not be releasing this information with Danielle. Now the question is, where will Danielle bring this information? Will she tell this to Amber? Because some people on the Wayne channel believe that she's going to tell all of this thing to Amber. Will she tell this to Amber? That's your question. Let's keep watching. Remember, my friends, we talked on this morning and I spoke about the lady and the type of business that she's in and what she can and can't do in that type of business. Well, Ben is in the same line of business. The funny thing is, the shoe is now on Ben's foot. So now Ben is in question as far as what's going on. And now Ben must make a decision. Does he reveal his information to his wife and tell his wife exactly what's taking place? Or does he not do that? By the way, he has already revealed information that he's hiding assets. All of this now is now going to become something that's on there. Again, if you're asking, because we know Angela Atkins love challenge O'Neill. If you're asking O'Neill, you know what? What do you think about all of this? I think Anthony should be found out. The truth of the matter is, again, it would be best if Anthony and Amber are not together. It would be best for Anthony to kind of lose some amount of money. It would be best in those lines. But again, I still have to call a spade a spade. Just like I've criticized Michelle this morning, it's the same thing that's happening for Ben right now. Ben is being called into question. Ben's integrity is being called into question, even though it is his wife. Because like Andrea said this morning, she said, I work in certain lines that I cannot reveal certain information to certain people. That's just what it is. That's the name of the game. But we're love. All right, so if you ask me, I don't know why the writers are doing this. I think that they're playing games, right? And they always play games, so it's now become topical, right? Remember, this morning it was a topic. The topic was, that was the part of the topic and the whole idea of integrity. Now Ben is being called into question. Is Ben acting in integrity by telling his wife this information? That is the question I must ask yourself the question. And the answer to it is an emphatic no. Just like how Ben was questioning Michelle this morning. And just like we talked about Michelle this morning, the same thing is what Ben is actually doing at this point in time. Ben is acting out of integrity, regardless of his wife. Because that type of information being released, right, can cause damage. No. Let me say that here you go. Basically, Danielle now has information. Now the question now is, should Danielle release this information to Amber? For our sake, I want her to release it, right? Integrity-wise, I guess she don't really have to kind of not do anything at all. I don't think she has to do anything. But then again, them can get sued from Anthony because Anthony is his client. So that's another piece of the puzzle, right? That's the idea of it, correct? That's the idea of it. But that's where we are at this point in time. Now, your question is this now. Let's say Amber finds out about this. Do you think this will be the nail in the coffin for Amber to leave? Or do you think it's much about the same thing like O'Neill was talking about this morning, where it doesn't matter the amount of information Amber gets, she's not going to do anything different to the information. Meaning, she might make some noise and she might complain and she might cuss, but at the end of the day, nothing is going to happen. She's going to stick in with Anthony just the same. So that's my question to y'all. Will she throw a fit with all of what's going on? Or will it be much about the same? That's what I think now is the question I have for you guys. Give me a take. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and talk to y'all soon.